Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Sharon McNall and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And you can find me at inspiredbygram.com. Today I'm bringing you a Crafting with Karen series. And last year I made these 3x3 note cards and envelopes, which I sold at a bunch of craft fairs, and they did fairly well. So it's almost craft fair season, so I needed to make quite a few of these. I'll show you at the end. I made over 60 packs of 2x2 note cards and a matching envelope, and bundled them up with my grandmother's thread, which I'll show you at the end. So let's get started creating the card. It's actually fairly simple. It's just a 3x6 piece of very vanilla, folded in half, and layered just 1/4 inch border, and it also has a matching envelope here. So this one here is already in the envelope. See how pretty it looks, matches the front. And let me bring in the designer series paper. We are using the Tea Room Specialty Designer Series paper, and it's from Stampin' Up! And the colors that it matches are Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Old Olive, Rich Raspberry, and of course Berry Vanilla. So we will be using this pattern here. I find on the 3x3s, the smaller the pattern, the better it looks. So let's bring in my panel that we'll be working with. This is again a 3x6, and it's scored at 3 inches. So I'm just going to fold this over. I've already pre-scored it. I'm just going to burnish it with my bone folder. And our next step is to layer up our pieces. So I took the suggestion of Coastal Cabana, which this is cut 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and a piece of the Tea Room Specialty Designer Series paper, and this is 2.5 by 2.5, just so they're all squares. So it's fairly simple to cut and to match up nicely. So this actually has a pattern on it. So on my cards, I like to have them open like this, but you can also have them open like this too. Whatever works best for you. So I'm just going to adhere this on with a 1/4 inch border on all 4 sides and give it a nice press. And then I'm just going to take my adhesive. Any adhesive will do. And of course I've got to make sure my pattern is going the right way. And again, I'm looking at a 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. So now I mass produce these. So you can use your stitched ovals, framelits if you like, the stitched oval and the scallop. But I used, I still have the retired punches. So I've got the extra large scallop oval, and I also have the large 1 3/4 by 7/8 oval. So these pair up nicely. I kept them because I do lots of craft fairs, and whatever makes the job go quicker is what I use. So again, you can use the framelits, but I just chose for quickness to use my punches. So I'm just going to punch out a piece of coastal, or the Calypso Coral scrap, and now we're going to stamp. And I used the Celebrate sentiment here from Beautiful You. You'll need a small enough sentiment that works best in that oval. You could also use circles as well. So I've got a piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm just going to ink up my stamp here, and I'm just going to stamp down the Celebrate. We are all done with the Calypso Coral. It's one of my favorite colors from Stampin' Up! Now I'm just going to take my oval punch and punch out Celebrate, so it's really quick and easy. And then I'm just going to bring my silicone mat in because I don't want to get any adhesive on my desk. Just run a layer there, and we'll just match this up here. I just want to move that just a little bit. I got it off here. Okay, and give it a nice press. Now I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to add 2 dimensionals to the back side of here. And we'll just give those a press with our fingernail to release the backing. And it comes off nicely. And now we're just going to adhere this to the center of our 3x3. Okay, so there's our 3x3 note card. These make great teacher gifts, or what I did today at work is I brought a pack in and gave it to a coworker, and I thought that was just cheered up her day. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use an envelope punch board to create our matching envelope. So this piece is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, so it's just the back side of the side I used. I'm going to bring in my envelope punch board here. So hopefully I got this in the picture here. So what I'm going to do is, this comes with a scoring tool, and I look here, and my card size is 3x3, so it tells me that I need to cut my piece of paper at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. I need to score at 2 5/8. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide your paper in, and you're going to find the 2 5/8 line here. So I've got it matched up. We're going to punch, and then we're going to run our scoring tool right along. Now this paper is a little bit thinner than your normal designer series paper, so you don't want to press too hard or else your bone folder will go through. So now what I've done is I've lined up this pointer here with the score line, and you're just going to punch and score. Again, it's the same on all sides. Punch and score. Line it up, punch and score. So there's our pattern, and you can see on the envelope punch board, that's your final result. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create our envelope. So let's remove this. It's what we just punched out. We don't need that. And I'm going to just flip this over and gently give it a nice fold. Okay, so I've got it kind of going pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a little bit of adhesive. This flap's going down, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there, and then just match it up, give it a good press. And I'm just going to add adhesive down here, and then just fold this up, and we've got our envelope. Isn't that great? So there's our envelope, and what we do is just we're going to slide in carefully because this is raised up. You could also not use dimensionals and just adhere it flush to the card. But there's your little cute little envelope and card. How sweet is that? So here's the one we made today, and the other few that I made here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I package them. So what I do is my grandmother used a lot of this crochet thread. So what I do is I just match up 2 pieces of the thread. You can use baker's twine too if you want, and probably cut about 18 inches off. And then let me bring in all the ones that I created here so you can kind of see what I did. This is probably not going to be the tray I'm using, and I don't even know if you can see this. I've got over 60 packets here. And some of it uses designer series paper that's current, like this one. And Best Birds is a stamp set for Thoughts for You. I think that's the stamp set. But some of it is not current designer series paper, so this is a great way to use it for your stash. So as you can see, I used 2 colors of thread and just wrapped it around and tied it a little bow here. So let me just give you an idea of a few that I've done. This is with the Nature's Poem, and I did use a few retired stamp sets, but what that works best for me. I do keep some of the retired stamp sets because they still work for me and what I'm trying to do with my business. So here's another Nature's Poem. I used a lot of scraps of the Nature's Poem because in my prior video I used the Nature's Poem to make journals. So take a look at that one and you'll see how I use the designer series paper there. So here's another one, and just fun. And so what I do is I match them up, put the card in the envelope, and then again the card in the envelope so your customer can see what they're purchasing. So you're going to ask me what I sell these for. So again, it all depends on your market. Last year I sold them for $1 a pack. so basically 50 cents each, or 6 for $5. And I found that when I offered this 6 for $5, I sold a lot more. So that's just a little bit of advice that I would give to you, is try to make a, you know, just a, instead of single pricing, have multiple pricing on your product, because I find that multiple pricing actually sells a lot better than just single pricing. So this is my project for today with Crafting with Karen series. Again, here what we made today. I just love this. This is the first time I've used the this designer series paper, and I absolutely love it. So for all your Stampin' Up! Needs, you can visit my website at inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.